Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. This is Dania Esperanza. This is Hope Speaks. And I am here recording on a morning. I technically just woke up and I am wearing my PJ, and it says, find your balance. So I kind of work for Spirit, which is Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And I say that because ever since I was a little girl, I was told that God was my father because I was left by my parents in the Dominican Republic. And I was told by my grandparents that Jesus Christ was my brother, or, my best friend. And I used to always talk to God and communicate with Christ. And that's always been very deeply ingrained in me. And yesterday I posted a video and I talked about the brain being a organ made of organic matter. Actually, it is an organ, obviously, and what I meant to say, it is a computer made of organic matter. And because of the 7 keys that my grandfather left me, I talk a lot about the brain and the parts of the brain. And in the podcast, I talk about RAS, R-A-S, Reticular Activating System. And that is it regulates sleep and relaxation. It is 2 inches, approximately 2 inches long. It is like about the size of a pencil. It's about the width of a pencil, but a little bit wider. And it is above the spinal cord, and it is under the membrane and the stem. So I will obviously be posting this picture, and that is what the reticular activating system is. This particular part of your brain is responsible for the way you perceive things, the things that you usually capture, what you see most of. And the reason why that is responsible for that and that acts this way is because this is the way the brain was designed. From beginning of time, our fight-flight response was the first response that was developed. And we use this to protect ourselves. We fight and we fly. And this is where stress happens. With the reticular activating system, it is because when we repeat things in the brain, repeat, and it is compounded, it becomes solidified in the brain, like trauma. So let's say, for example, you have something traumatic that happens to you when you're a child. Let's say you're at the age of 1.5. And during this time of your life, you don't even remember it, because many people do not remember their life at 1.5, 2 years old, 3 years old. They might remember little specks, but they don't remember everything in detail. Usually when they do have a traumatic memory, some of us bury it so deep that then it hits us when we're in our 30s, our 40s, and we remember, and it causes us to have more pain, more sorrow, and these memories are hidden in parts of our body, and it causes disease. This is where sometimes we find cancer in breast cancer, or certain organs, liver, kidney, and each organ has a reason why this organ is suffering, and it usually is due to some form of hidden deep memory from the past. Now, these traumatic experiences that happen to us can be also very sensitive and light experiences. They don't have to be that deep and traumatic. It could be like a simple argument that you truly remember of your parents, and it impacted you because you had a tremendous heightened fear at that time, whether it was a heightened fear because of the fact that you were a tiny child and you didn't know how to protect yourself, and the argument was followed by a bang of a door, or your mom being pushed. These are the things that stay deep within us, and we don't fully remember the certain details, and sometimes we do. Now, these things affect us later on in life, and the partners that we choose, the relationships that we have with our friends, even sometimes the uncomfortable relationships we have with our parents that stem from these wounds that are very deep. And the reason why they stay with us is because during the ages of 0 to 7, this is our informative years. Then we go to school, and we go to school with kids that are similar to us, that their background, it has a certain tone similar to our parents' home, right? Because we are usually raised in a community of similar people. And this makes things even more difficult because we have more of the same. And now this is how the reticular activation system is. It starts to pick up on that type of trauma. You may go to college, you may have a completely different lifestyle that your parents did not have at all, and you say, hey, I dodged a bullet. I'm nothing like my mom. I'm nothing like my dad. I don't have those types of relationships. But then here we go, you get a girlfriend or you get a boyfriend, and they seem to have the same lifestyle imbalance that you have because they go to the same school. They might not even be from the same cultural background as your mom and dad or your grandparents. But then a year later, you start seeing these these acts and these types of thoughts and these arguments that starts to happen, and then you start feeling similar to as you was a child, and you have panics and you let go of the relationship, and then you have more of that follows. You end up meeting more people that seem to be different from your ex, but then all of a sudden something different happens, and it may be something totally different than your last relationship, but it has the same level of energy. And what I mean by that is the same level of pain it caused in your body, the same level of discouragement, and that continues to happen inside of your body. And this is due to the reticular activation system. It is because it is going to pick up like almost how can I compare it to? Because I'm really good at simplifying very difficult neuroscience information. So it's almost like something that picks up, like a filter that picks up these same patterns, and it filters out all the good that you really want. It doesn't allow that to come in, but if it brings in this same type of energy, it's the energy. So this is the reason you're vibrating in a low vibration energy. Even if you're making more money, even if you have a better vehicle, your energy is still vibing in that level of who you used to be. And this is due to your personality blend, and also to the level of energy where you are. And in order to change that, you have to completely change your personality. You have to change your vibration. You have to lift your vibration up to a higher vibration. So this means you have to change. And how do you change? How do you change this little tiny monster that is inside your brain, and it's causing these changes, this type of regularity? Not even the change, you want to be the change. And the thing that you have to do is that you have to repeatedly listen to positive affirmations. constantly. This is like, I cannot stress it more. It has to be a recording. You have to reprogram. The brain is like an engine. It is an engine that you turn on. You turn on the engine, right? And depending on the brain that you have, you're going to be on a certain road, right? The engine. So it's important for you to understand the parts of the brain, the way it works. Breathe into these parts, meditate. The subconscious is amazing, and you have to kind of make it your friend and communicate with yourself. The first step, like I spoke in my previous video, was finding out who you are, finding out your personality, what makes you who you are, what makes you tick, because this is about you. This is about how I can help you. And the only way that I can help you is by you finding out who are you, you know. And a lot of us wear masks, and don't be ashamed if you find out that you have several masks. You might have all 4 personalities, and you're like confused as to, wait a minute, all of these things mean who I am. I mean, I'm a little bit of all 4, or a lot of all 4, and that is due to wearing a mask. And as I was learning in my studies, and I read this full book, Wired That Way. Actually, this one, the bigger one, this one. I read this one, and I did the assessments, of course, and I have it in Audible as well. So they give you in Audible, they give you the printout. So you can go on Amazon and you can download on your Audible the book and listen to it, and then they give you like a download, and you can have the assessment that you can do. Then on Amazon, you can order the profile, and you can also do the profile on Amazon. And these two are different because one is a workbook and this one is the actual book. Yeah, I have it all. I went deep into my education. When I was taking the course, I took it seriously. It took me a long time because they would you know, suggest a certain book, and they would talk about a certain doctor, and I would research it. I'm sorry, the table is shaking. I would research the doctor, his family. I would find them on YouTube, follow them daily, research who they are, and I fell in love with all of this stuff. I mean, I'm so grateful to be certified, because I know there's a lot of life coaches out there who are making a lot of money, even millions of dollars, and they are doing this without a certification, and they do it because they have the experience in life, and they're able to speak, they're able to express themselves very well, so they're able to communicate the message, and their clients get it. So I have that ability to teach. I have the ability to share. I have the ability to make things that are complicated very simple. And I'm grateful to have that ability and to share that with you. So I would want you to go into this profile and be kind to yourself. Even if you find out the worst about your personality, and you find out that you are not aware that you had been operating from your weaknesses, that is great to acknowledge. And look at yourself in the mirror and give yourself love, and know that you've done the best that you could with what you had, because being programmed like this is something that happens to all of us. I am a mother of 4. I have 3 boys that are still living at home, and I never had the education when I gave birth to my kids that from 0 to 7, they were being programmed. I had no idea. I wish that at the hospital they told me that. I wouldn't have never said the things that I've said in front of them during that age, thinking that they would never remember. I wouldn't have never done the things that I've done. in front of them, you know, because you don't want to expose your children to a lot of things. This is why it is concerning about the music, the repetition, the sounds, the beats. All of these things are recorded in the cerebral cortex, in the brain. The mind, it is one, and every part of the brain has something important to do with the next. They say we have two brains inside our brain, because we have the right and we have the left. We have the reasoning, and we have the emotion, and there should be a balance between both, and there should also be a balance between your feminine energy and your masculine energy. So I am grateful to be here and share this with you so that you can get an idea of your personality, who you are, what makes you tick, where are you in your life. And I am going to cut this video short because I want to come back and do some more. And it's very difficult to download the videos and edit them, and then take the time to put it all together and then just launch it. And that's why it's like a job. It is a job. So I am happy that you're here. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm getting like so many text messages, and that's why I'm like stumbling. But I will be back so we can talk about some more about personalities. Why maybe you're clashing with your co-workers and clashing with your partner, and then you can feel better about what you could do about that, right? So thank you for being here. I'll see you soon.